Do you want to know what the best food is in Hytale? I'm Quibite, and here's my tier list on everything you need to know. To begin, I should say Hytale's food doesn't actually fill up a hunger bar. Rather, it applies certain instant buffs to your character. Not all foods are made equal, so I'll be showing you which ones to keep around, and which ones you can ignore. I'll be rating all these foods accounting for ease of access, their benefits, and how renewable they are. Starting off with raw beef. In a pinch, it could be helpful to eat, but 99% of the time, you just want to save it to cook. It doesn't really do much for you up front, just giving you 5% health, but in a pinch, I guess you could get some use out of it. I'm gonna stick this in F. Now, bread in Hytale is a little bit complicated. At first, it seems like not a bad food, giving you 15% instant health upon consumption. For only getting this medium-sized health buff, it requires some extra steps to bake, but that's not the big thing. To get yourself fed in Hytale from low HP, you'll have to be eating a ton of bread, which means you'll be making a ton of dough. In Hytale, there's no infinite water source, so you'll be draining entire lakes to craft enough dough in order to keep up bread production. If you have an ocean to spare, go for it, but there's way better options out there, so I'm putting it in D tier. Speaking of better options, cheese is just a clearly better choice here. All you have to do is find a cow and milk it with a bucket. This gives you exactly the same buff as bread, for way less effort, and you aren't draining your entire ocean to craft it. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Sticking with the raw meat theme here, these are pretty much assigned to the F tier. You can forget about consuming them as food. Next up for us is grilled fish, which I'm gonna slap in B. Now since grilled fish only gives you 5% instant health, you may be thinking, why on earth am I putting it above C? The grilled fish item gives you 5% instant health, on top of health regen 1 and health boost 1 for 45 seconds. I think for the most part, foods that give you healing over time buffs tend to be a little better, but it can be good to mix and match, because sometimes you'll just need that 15% instant health. Raw fish gets slapped in F with the other raw ingredients, but the fruit skewer manages to climb its way up to A. For a pretty low cost of 1 stick and 4 fruit, you can get yourself a really solid meal. It instantly fills 10% of your health bar, gives you health regen 2 and stamina boost 2 for a duration of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now this next skewer is 100% something special. The mushroom skewer may provide the same benefits as the fruit skewer, but its ease of access to benefits ratio is probably the best in the game. Usually when you're above ground, there's plenty of food sources to choose from. You can go kill an animal, you can pick some berries, you can find some vegetables on the ground. But when heading underground, your options are significantly more limited. A huge tip I'll give is keep your chef's workbench in your inventory. All it takes is 1 stick and 3 mushrooms. And while you're underground, you can easily gather enough mushrooms to feed yourself while you're down there, and when you return back to the surface. For the mushroom skewer, we get our first true S tier. As for the meat skewer, I'm gonna put it in A. The skewer has slightly different buffs from the other 3, being that it doesn't provide stamina, as it doubles down on health benefits. Its ease of access is a little bit worse than the fruit skewer, but its utility, in my opinion, is a little bit better. I'm gonna slap the vegetable skewer up in A, as it's practically identical to the fruit skewer. These next 3 options are a little different. By default, they're completely unobtainable within the chef's workbench. You'll have to unlock their recipes. In order to unlock them, you can go to the Forgotten Temple and locate the Quebec trader that provides the recipe. Additionally, I've heard you can gather their recipes in chests scattered across the world. First, I'll start with apple pie. This is the first food of 4 which I'll classify as being in the feast category. Instantly restoring 15% of your health bar, and granting health regen 3 and stamina boost 3 for a duration of 6 minutes. While it isn't the easiest food to obtain, it's definitely worth it. Easy S tier. The meat pie is slightly different. Like the meat skewer, it doubles down on its health effects. In my opinion, this is the single best food in the entire game. While it is expensive, the buffs are insane. If you need more instant health, combine it with something like cheese. Like I said earlier, cheese has no overtime effects, just giving you instant health. So combining the 2 together can be pretty strong to get your health bar up quick. For the meat pie, I debated making it an entire meat pie tier, but I think I'm just gonna slap it an S. The pumpkin pie offers the exact same effects as the apple pie, being 15% health and 6 minutes of health regen 3 and stamina boost 3. If I were to choose, I'd say I like the apple pie a little bit more, but that's just personal preference. As a feast, it can't go below anything in S tier. Popcorn might just be the most unique food in the game right now. It gives you 15% instant health, just like the cheese and the bread, but it has a slightly odd recipe, requiring salt and some items you can use as fuel in a furnace. I think depending on your playstyle, you might be able to make more popcorn than cheese, or you might be able to make more cheese than popcorn. Popcorn is basically just gather a bunch of salt and grow a ton of corn. For now, I think it's safe to place it in C. Again, we have some raw meat, banish that to F. And now, we have the first of our salads. These are functionally exactly the same as the skewers, except instead of using a stick, you use a cabbage, which depending on which stage in the game you're in, could be better, but sticks require 0 setup, and you could just get them. Late game, if you set up a cabbage farm, you'll 100% have faster and infinite access to salads over skewers, but not every player is going to make a giant cabbage farm. For now, I'm going to nudge the wild berry salad a little bit under into B, just because the barrier for entry for collecting loads of sticks is going to be a little bit lower for most players. Now, this next salad is actually a feast. It is slightly complicated to make, but as far as feasts go, it's probably the most renewable one, with the only truly finite material being salt. But with Hytale's world generation, I'm sure you can find plenty of it. The Caesar salad shares its benefits with the apple and pumpkin pie, so it earns a very solid S tier next to those two. The mushroom salad is practically identical to the wild berry salad, so I'm going to slap it right next to it in B. In my opinion, the roast vegetable, while not being incredibly great stat-wise, is a decent choice anyway. It's a great food in Hytale that can be grown out of any crop that's been labeled a vegetable. It can be mass-produced super easily, being just one vegetable cooked inside of a campfire. It does have healing over time effects, so I'm going to place it in B. Same goes for the cooked wild meat, as it's a pretty abundant early to mid-game food, with decent enough effects. Here's some more raw meat, you know where that goes. And then we're met with a ginormous cluster of ingredients, like fruits and vegetables. Pretty much all of these can be turned into better food, and have little to no utility by themselves. I do have a sweet spot in my heart though for the wild berry. These berries definitely kept me alive during the early game. I think it's safe to gather all of these up, and just smack them down in the F tier. Ideally, you won't really be using them as food, unless it's an emergency. Lastly, we have two options on our list that Hytale doesn't classify as food in its creative menu. First is just a plain bucket of milk. When looking at the details of the milk bucket, you can see that it offers the exact same benefits as an antidote. This allows you to completely bypass making antidote in the alchemist's workbench. For the cost of just walking up to a cow, I'd say that's super worth it. So I'm gonna put this in A. Now, I saved the most exciting item for last, being a bucket of Mosshorn milk. You may be wondering, Quibite, why on earth is your milk green? Well, the Mosshorn milk has some pretty interesting effects. I'm just gonna let you see. No explanation needed, easy S tier. And that about wraps it for my tier list. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. And if you're feeling extra generous, use code Quibite at checkout in the Hytale shop. Don't forget to leave a like, and that's it from me. My name is Quibite, and thanks for watching.